What's going on YouTube? My name is Jarek and this is Backyard Jeeping. Today I'm going to be installing a new idle air control valve on my 01 XJ, also known as Big Booty Judy. This is also called an IAC. So yeah, please like, subscribe, and share. Check out the Instagram and Facebook at Backyard Jeeping, as well as the online store, backyardjeeping.com, where you can get decals, shirts, trailhead off-road cowl intakes, as well as aux beam lighting products. So go ahead and check that out. Links for those will be down in the description below, as well as a parts link. So let's go ahead and jump into this install. To change out your idle air control valve or your IAC, it's actually connected to your throttle body. Now I went ahead and have removed my trailhead off-road cowl air intake. You might have a factory air box that's over here to the side. Just go ahead and take it off of your throttle body, because you'll need to remove your whole throttle body in order to change out the sensor. So also make sure that you have a new throttle body gasket, just in case if the old one that's already on there is bad. Since you're taking it off, you might as well change it anyways. So first, to get this out, you need to disconnect your cables. So to do that, I just have a flathead screwdriver for this back one here. I'm just going to take it, put it up underneath the little tab right there, and it'll pop right off like that. And then for these two, you just want to push your throttle down. Push down on that, it'll come off. Same with this one. And it slides right off. It has a little groove in here. This is where the nipple sits, right into there. So when you go to connect it, you just want to pull your cable, pop it on there, and make sure you hear it snap. So after that, you can go ahead and disconnect your map sensor, your TPS, and your IAC. So I got everything over here disconnected, and you just want to grab a 10 millimeter and take off. There's 4 bolts. You have one in the back, one right here, and right here. Those are just the 10 millimeter. Be careful whenever you're taking these out. Of course, you don't want to lose anything. So, all right, after you get all 4 of those out, your throttle body will just come right off. And right here is the throttle body. There's the throttle body gasket. I will be taking that off and changing it. And then right here, that is the IAC, or the idle air control valve, that we're going to be changing out today. This is your throttle position sensor. I did get one of these, but I'll be changing that in a different video because they all do something a little different. So I wanted to make sure that I specify in each video which each one does. And this is the map sensor. I will be changing out this one as well. But yeah, in this video, we're just focusing on the throttle position sensor right here. So I have the throttle body off. Here is the throttle body gasket that I'll be putting on. This is all from AutoZone. I'll put links for the throttle body gasket in the description as well. And then here is the new IAC that we're going to be changing. Now, like I said, in this video, we're only going to be focusing on the idle air control valve, which is right here. This is what it looks like. Right there. And then this right here, this one, is your TPS, your throttle position sensor. And then over here, the square block one, that is your map sensor. But each one serves its own purpose. So today we're just going to be focusing on the IAC. I've taken mine out before, I've cleaned it, put it back in, and as you can see that my throttle body is dirty because I have hood vents, and the location of those hood vents, it's easy for, especially if it's raining and whenever I'm out on the trails doing creek crossings, stuff like that, it's easy for water to come up over the hood, go through the hood vents, and just splash over all this. So that's why mine are going bad. I do plan on fabricating a little cover, kind of like a heat shield type thing, to cover all this up, just so that way, you know, water and everything will stop getting on it, especially dirt. So yeah, let's go ahead and take out the idle air control valve. And to do that, you'll need a T20 Torx bit. And I'll get these taken out. They shouldn't be too tight. So a couple of turns, and after that, you should be able to do it by hand. There's one, and there's two. Now, instead of, before you order a part, you can take this off and clean it. That's what I did before I ordered it, way before I even did an engine swap. I took it out, cleaned it because it was pretty. Which this one is now it's not as bad, I guess, since doing the engine swap. Not too bad looking. Whenever I cleaned it the first time from the old engine, I mean, this you couldn't even see the top of it. The top wasn't silver. It was covered, and it was thick on there. Just because that looks decent doesn't mean that it's not bad. So what I would do is I would clean it first, and then, you know, reinstall it, run it for a while, see how it's doing. If it makes a change, then great. If it goes right back to doing what it was doing, go ahead and change it out. Now you can also clean out inside of here, which mine isn't too bad since I've last cleaned it. So I'm actually going to clean it up a little bit just to be on the safe side. So let me grab a paper towel. Alright, so I got it cleaned up in here. I just used some brake clean and a paper towel. Sprayed it up in there, wiped it out pretty good, let it dry. Now, one thing that I forgot to mention is you want to keep in mind the orientation that this goes. Where it plugs into, it goes towards the driver's side. So it'll be facing like this. It'll be facing your other two sensors, your TPS and your map sensor. So if it's that way, that's wrong. You want to make sure that it's facing the driver's side. So to reinstall it, you just put it on there like that. Be mindful of that O-ring. Grab your screws and start those by hand because you don't want to mess up that O-ring. Just get it started. Just like that. Get your T20. Now, you don't want this super tight. You just want it snug. Remember, snug is love. So just snug it on down. That's all you really need to do. And that's all you need there. So after that, you would either put it back on there if you're not changing out your gasket, or you would change out your gasket, or you would take the old gasket off, clean up the surface on the intake manifold, put your new gasket on, and then reinstall that. That thing is cooked on there. This is going to be a fun time cleaning this. So whenever the map sensor comes in, I'll be able to change the map sensor, but I won't have to take the whole throttle body back off because you can actually get to the 2 bolts right here. So I'm going to go ahead and install my new throttle body gasket. And the way that I like to do it, which you can do it however way you want, but the way I like to do it is I'll just go ahead and sit it down here. Just like that. Make sure that all the holes are lined up. Make sure that you have the orientation of your throttle body right. I'll just put one of the bolts in and just carefully sit it down and get that bolt started. Just a little bit of pressure on it, just that way it helps it from moving around. And then I can just sit the other 3 down in the holes because everything should be lined up just right. And then you want to go ahead and tighten these down. Again, you don't have to have these things He-Man tight. Snug is love. That's my new catchphrase right there. Snug is love. You can feel it. It's does not need to be super duper tight. Last thing you want to do is snap one of these bolts. Alright, and just like that, it is tight. Now you can go ahead and connect everything back up. Alright. And just like that, you have your idle air control valve changed, or your IAC. So please like, subscribe, and share. Check out the Instagram and Facebook at Backyard Jeeping, as well as the online store, backyardjeeping.com. I'll see you guys in the next one.